Today we are in the biggest little city in the world, and we're going to show you an automotive collection that has been rated one of the top 10 in the United States. Welcome to Tail Fins and Chrome.
Mr. Hara started collecting automobiles. Of course, Mr. Hara was the owner of Hara's Hotels, Casinos, and gaming, a large name in gaming here in Nevada for many years. In 1948, he decided to play with his passion for automobiles by purchasing a little Maxwell. He restored that automobile, showed it at an antique automobile meet, found out that he'd made a mistake, that it wasn't a 1907, it was actually a 1911. Very embarrassed, and decided at that point that he would endeavor to tell the story of the automobile in America and in American life. And to that end, he created a collection of over 1,400 automobiles before he passed in 1978.
That's amazing. One of the things, Jay, that Tail Fins and Chrome viewers love is the one-of-one cars and or the one-of-none sometimes. And I know that we're standing in front of something that is absolutely gorgeous in my eyes.
Well, not only in your eyes, but in many eyes. And this is probably one of the most radically customized Cord automobiles ever built. This is Phantom Corsair. It was designed and built for Rust Hines of 57 Varieties Fortune. Mr. Hines was a nautical architect and drew this automobile out on a cocktail napkin. He was looking for something that was going to be the ultimate boulevard cruiser. It was going to be sleek, it was going to be fast, and obviously anybody that sees it knows who's driving it. So he put this car together, took it down to Bowman and Schwartz with these wind tunnel models and these napkin drawings and all, and they built the automobile from his 1936 Cord. All they basically saved was the engine and transmission unit and the instruments, threw the rest of the car away, and built this automobile up from scratch. It's all hand built, it's all hand formed, and they only ever built one, costing $25,1938. Unfortunately, Mr. Hines was killed in an automobile accident with a friend shortly after the completion of this automobile. He never really got to enjoy it. The family divested itself of the automobile. It knocked around through several hands. Mr. Hara purchased the automobile in 1970, and it's been in our collection ever since. You sit in the middle of the car when you drive this thing, so it seats 4 people across the front seat. Number 4 is on my left. You know, then when I'm behind the wheel, I can just like barely get my hand out here to signal. And so huge blind spots, there's no rear view mirrors. Of course, that would detract from the sleekness of the automobile. Sure. So it's mostly drive this thing in a straight line and then get yourself 3 or 4 people to help you turn around and come back. But it's still a wonderful automobile to be seen in and a great car to take out. What? The Rolls-Royce, it's a Silver Ghost. What normally happened with the older Rolls-Royce, if they didn't get scrapped, if they kept in the family but came out of date, they kind of dressed them up a bit. And it was not uncommon to build on many of these large chassis what was referred to as a skiff body. And if you look at it, it's basically a reverse boat.
I was about to say, it almost has that chitty chitty bang bang vibe.
Exactly. But you can see the bow end of it, of course, turned around, kind of the original boat tail speedster. But this was a skiff body. The gentleman that designed this one wanted to go one better, and instead of making it all out of wooden planks and making it real nice that way, decided to go with solid sheets of hand-hammered copper.
Wow.
So we have a copper skin over a wooden frame, dressed in ebony and leather.
Jay, we're in Reno where a lot of entertainers have come and gone, and this is a special car here, right?
This is probably another one of our more popular automobiles. This is the 1949 Mercury that was driven by James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause. We've documented this all the way back through the studio history to find the numbers and photographs of the automobile there. But this automobile was driven by James Dean. Natalie Wood would have sat in the automobile. I mean, it's the only surviving star of that movie. And then for that reason holds an iconic place in our collection.
Now, I know these sold brand new for around $2,000, and it came with what, a V8 in them, right?
Flathead V8, first year for the new V8 for Ford.
Jay, I know when most people think John Wayne, they think of him riding on a horse, but in reality, he actually owned cars as well.
Well, certainly.
And this is one of them?
This is an automobile that was owned by John Wayne. This is a 1953 Corvette, first year production automobile. And they tried to place these automobiles with stars and people of note, of course, to bring attention to the automobile. John Wayne was one of them. The inside joke is the Duke couldn't fit in the car. He was a big guy. So the story is that he gave the car to Ward Bond, who was a co-star with him in many movies. Well, Ward Bond was even bigger than the Duke, so he couldn't fit in the car either. Happily, that makes this a nice low-mileage original automobile. But you can tell, I mentioned the patina, and if you look back here, you can see where the paint is actually formed back into the fiberglass matting on it, and you can see the patterns in the front, in the end of the paint, in the front end of it. And you said the little defects and the little flaws, but these are all part of preserving an original piece of history. Would you really want us to tamper with the paint and the upholstery that the Duke actually handled? Only problem is now that when young people come by, they may recognize it as a Corvette, but they don't know who the big cowboy is standing behind it.
As time goes on, that's the hard part about it all.
We lose so much.
Yeah. Now, Jay, I was just at an event where they were showing the brand new Mercedes Gullwings. And, you know, this is one of the quintessential automobiles from back in the day, especially with the Gullwing.
You think of post-war Mercedes, I think this is the automobile that everybody thinks of. This was everything that Mercedes, to me at least. I mean, it's one of my favorite sports cars ever. It has the look, it has the feel, it has the power. There is something about this particular automobile that just does it.
If you want to go somewhere and see a lot of really cool stuff, go to the biggest little website in the world, tailfinsandsandchrome.com.